Good morning, my Facebook Live friends. My name is Sarah Edwards, and I come to you guys live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually at 7 p.m. But today is an exception. I have to work this evening, so I am doing my Facebook Live this morning. So hopefully some of you guys can log on and join. If not, you guys can catch the replay, just making sure we're live on my iPad and everything seems to be going well. Hopefully you guys have had a good morning so far. I took the dogs for a walk this morning, and then on our way back, I was like, ooh, the pool looks really refreshing right now. So I took a little swim before I went in and got cleaned up and came out to do a live with you guys. So I am super excited. I'm usually not live this early in the morning, so it is a little bit different for me. So welcome. Thank you for joining. You probably say I look a little bit different. I am wearing contacts today. Well, a contact. I only wear one. I do see better in my glasses, but since I have to work, I don't like my glasses fogging up with the mask that I have to wear. So I figured I might as well just put them in now and not have to worry about it later. So anyway, that is my morning so far. Hopefully you guys are having a great one. I am going to kind of point you down just to go over a couple things with you. Let me grab this. Oh, I should tell you. My husband is actually out working in the garage, so if you hear noises, it's him working. And I actually have all the puppies. I don't know if you can see. I have all the puppies in here. There's two of them right there, and then the other one's in the hallway. So if you hear the dogs start barking, just part of my life. Once Hank starts barking, everybody starts barking, and then it's a big party. And there's a pig in here. He's not a live pig. He's a pig toy, so hopefully nobody steps on him or starts squeaking him because it sounds pretty funny. But anyway, welcome everybody. I'll go ahead and point you down so we can start looking at some things. So I still have this promotion going. Once the Facebook Live's over, I'll go ahead and send another email out about it. So if you spend $50 using a host code that will be in the email, I will put your name above here, and then once this line is filled, I am going to do a drawing for a cut and embossing machine. But if you already have it, I was going to do a $120 credit. So once each line is filled, we will start that, and it ends on August 2nd, I believe. I did that as August 2nd. So you still have a few more days to take advantage of that, and I thank you. That's going to help me earn the next incentive trip. So that's why I did the special. So today's card, we actually still have quite a long time before we hit our fall season. But I really loved how beautiful and bright these colors in the designer series paper are. So that's why I'm going to use this designer series paper. And I'm using the Thinking of You stamp set. I picked this because I think, I was thinking of you kind of means a lot. Thinking of you as in just a good friend, I'm thinking of you, or if somebody's hurting, I'm thinking of you. If somebody's not feeling good, I'm thinking of you. I think that sentiment can go a long way. So that's the sentiment we're going to be playing with. And then I paired it with the Bark 3D embossing folder. So that's the one that we are going to be playing with tonight. So let me get this out of the way. If you're logging on, say hello so I know you're joining. Let me bring in the stamp set and the die, and then I'll show you the card we're going to be making. So here's the stamp set, Beautiful Friendship. And then here's the beautiful dies that match it. So this is a tree where actually I went ahead and embossed the tree as well. So we're going to be playing with that tree. And this is the little sentiment that I had pre-cut for our couple cards that we're going to be making as well. And here is the 3D Bark embossing folder. It's kind of hard to see, but it is super cute. And here is the designer series paper. Well, hello, Paula and Aunt Tammy, Monique. Hello, everybody. So here's the designer series paper. I love all of the bright, beautiful colors. These are the two we're going to be playing with today. Actually, we're going to be working with both sides of it. But I thought it was so perfect for fall, even though we do have a few more months before fall hits Arizona. But it is super fun and super pretty. Okay, so let me bring in the card we're going to be making. So in the description, I put, it's the 3x4 designer series paper. I know I did a whole Facebook Live, maybe even 2 of them, showing you how to maximize your designer series paper by cutting it to 3x4. And then you back it with a piece of cardstock that's 3¼ by 4¼ So it's the same idea, but we just cut the designer series paper in half again. So let me show you what I mean. So here is, I already pre-cut everything, but I will flip them all over so you guys can see what I was talking about. So once these are all put together, this measures 3x4. Sorry, my hands are shaky, so it's not quite even, but that's okay. So this measures 3x4. We're going to cut it in half at 1½, and that's going to give you 2 pieces. And then we're going to flip it again, and we're going to cut 1½ pieces off the top. So you are left with 4 pieces. So you have 2 pieces that are 1½ by 1½, and you have 2 pieces that's 1½ by 2½. Hold on, I literally looked at that before we went live, and now I forget. Yep, 2½. Woohoo! Good thing. Should never second guess yourself. So you have 2 pieces, 1½ squares, and 2 pieces that's 1½ by 2½. So let's bring in our designer series, or our cardstock, and this is cinnamon cider, and this measures 4¼ by 3¼ and we're literally just going to flip these over. And we're going to butt them up in the center, and we're just going to alternate the designer series paper. Is that not super cute and totally different? And it's the same, you're using the same amount of designer series paper as you would if you didn't cut it. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue. And using liquid glue kind of gives you a little bit extra of movement on it. It doesn't dry super fast. I mean, it does dry super fast, but it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So if something's not quite even, you have some time to get it even. And I think the biggest thing was to make sure not to glue the wrong side. There we go. Put some adhesive on the back of this guy. There we go. Look how easy peasy that was, and it's super cute. Okay, so that is all down and secured. We're actually going to make 2. So I went ahead and pre-cut our little piece from our die. This is the die that I used, and I just ran it through the embossing machine. And I am grabbing the Thinking of You, and I'm going to grab the Night and Navy ink. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and try and stamp this in the center. It's always a challenge when you're doing it on Facebook Live. That's not too shabby. I'll take it. Close this up just in case. I put my hand in it. So now I'm going to flip this over and grab some dimensionals. I have one little tiny guy left on that piece, so I'll use that. Let me grab some more. Perfect. And we're going to put this one on this side. Those big ones fit on that perfectly. So I went ahead and put the sentiment over to the left just a hair because I wanted to tie a bow and put it up here in the corner. So let me bring in the ribbon. So this is, let's see, what's the name of this ribbon? Fine Art Ribbon. And they actually carried it over into the catalog. So we're just going to go ahead and tie a quick little bow. And I'm just going to pull the little legs just to get the bow tiny. I don't want a super big one. So we're just going to keep tugging until it's the size you want. One at a tiny bit smaller. There we go. That looks pretty good. So we're just going to give this a little tiny haircut. Grab some mini glue dots. put it on the back, and we can lay this right here. There we go. Our card is almost finished. Now I went ahead and took the Night and Navy and ran it through the embossing machine with the bark embossing folder, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4. And the only thing I used dimensionals on was this Thinking of You. I didn't want it to be super super thick to go through the mail, and with that bow, it adds the height to it. So I'm just going to glue that right in the center. And I would recommend using the liquid glue when you're doing an embossing folder, just because of all the ridges in the cardstock. It adheres a lot nicer. So I'm going to push that aside, and I have a piece of basic white. This measures 4 1/4 by 11, and I did score this at 5 1/2. So we're just going to fold it, grab your bone folder, and give that a good crease. Oh man, you know what I forgot to do? Okay, so this was my original card. And then I got thinking, how cute would this be having the tree underneath it? So let's see if I can pop all this off without tearing. Oh, that works. Let's see if I can pull this off. And it was sitting right in front of me so I wouldn't forget, and look what I did. I forgot. Oh, that actually came off pretty easy. Looky there, and I didn't ruin anything. Okay, so don't you think this would look super cute on the inside? So this was my original, which I still think is super fun. But I thought, let's play with this little tree that I ran through the die machine. And I think it just adds a little bit of pop to it. And I did run this through the embossing folder also. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on here. And just go gentle because you don't want it squeezing out. But you don't need to get every single piece of it. There we go. We'll lay that down. Now we can put our sentiment back on. There, perfect. And then our bow. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Perfect. So now let's flip this over, add some adhesive to the back, and glue this on our card. There we go. Super cute, right? I actually love them both. I don't know which one I like better. And I'm going to grab some of our gems, our Gilded Gems, and I just want to sprinkle a couple on. We'll put one up top, and we'll put a couple down at the bottom. Just adds a little bit of pizzazz to your card. Well, maybe I can't get this little guy off. There we go. There we go. Super cute. I love it. Okay, let's do our last one, and it's the same way, but it's just I use the different designer series paper. So we're not going to forget about that tree this time, I promise. And if I do, yell at me. Like, tree, don't forget the tree. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of line these up. Just so I can kind of get, well, that didn't work. Just so I can kind of get an idea of where it's supposed to go before I put the glue on the back of it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'll take one off. Put some adhesive on. There we go. Take this guy off. You definitely want to do these in sections. You don't want to put glue on all of it because you're not quite sure if you're going to get it straight. There we go. And now you can see both sides of your designer series paper. That's the one thing that I struggle with, is knowing which side I like best to showcase. And now you don't have to think about that. You can do both. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like it. Let's put our tree on right now so we don't forget. I'm just going to put a little adhesive on the tree. And I think the tree just adds a little bit of pizzazz to it. There we go. Oh, you can probably hear my husband out there working. Let's grab our little basic white piece, and I have the Mary Merlot. I'm going to ink up the Thinking of You, the same image or the same sentiment. There we go. Perfect. Clean that off so I don't forget. There's very minimal stamping to this guy as well. Flip that over. These dimensionals fit perfect, so just make sure you put the straight edge up at the top so the straight edge is at the bottom, so none of the little pieces are hanging over. Let's put this off to, and you really could put this wherever you want. So let's put it down at the bottom. And I already pre-tied the bow, so let me grab my mini glue dots. And we can put our bow down at the bottom. There we go. It's your card. You can really design it the way you want it. There is no wrong way to create a card. I've even done a card upside down, but I still milled it out because it was the thought that counted. And I spent so much time on it, I wasn't ripping it apart. So I just backed it on a piece of early espresso, and this is 4 by 5 1/4 again, and I ran it through the embossing machine. And I have the same basic white, 4 1/4 by 11. Flip this over, and we're going to glue this down. So there we go. Super easy cards, totally duplicatable. And you can use any of the designer series paper. So if you aren't ready to start your fall cards, you don't have to. You can use any of the in color designer series paper that are bright and cheery, or use the fall. There you go. Hopefully you guys liked this morning's live. Sorry I did have to come to you guys live in the morning versus in the afternoon, but I do have to work tonight. So I didn't want to not do a Facebook Live. So if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. And if you're interested in the promotion that I'm running right now, I will be sending an email. And there's a link in this Facebook Live that will take you right to this email signups. So if you're not on my email sign up list, please do sign up. Okay, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.